Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Patty Brennan Show. Whether you have $20 or $20 million, this show is for those of you who want to protect, grow, and use your assets to live your very best lives. When we think about living your very best life, it's about peace of mind. Now, can I give you peace of mind? I don't know that anyone can give another human being peace of mind, but maybe more confidence as you go day to day. One of the things out there that nobody really knows is whether or not there's going to be a health issue where they're going to need a lot of care. So the first question is, what kind of care would you want? Would you want to stay in your own home? What would be the cost of that? Is your home ADA compliant? So it's really about asking the questions unique to your situation. The other thing is really looking at the financial assets and what's most important to you. For example, I think it's really a nice alternative to say, you know what? I'll cross that bridge if and when I come to it. That's called self-insuring. So rather than going out and buying a lot of expensive insurance coverage, let's pray to God that you're never going to need this and you self-insure, meaning you set yourself up in such a way so that your assets could pay for it if you needed it. Now, first thing, let's define what it is. Is it in the home? Is it assisted living? Is it nursing home coverage, etc.? Most people don't like the idea of being in a nursing home. It's a practical fact of life. So let's just put it on the table, understand it, and then prepare for the possibility. So with that in mind, first, looking at your current health. What is the family history? Do you have any health issues where there is a possibility? Also, if we're talking about insurance, what is the likelihood that you would even qualify? And what is the cost, even if you could qualify? As with any risk, how much of this risk do you want to cover? Nobody knows, A, whether or not you're going to even need it, and if so, for how long? Sure, we could look at averages, but you know what? Who wants to think of average, right? You're not average. You want to make sure, if it's a concern to you, that you're covered for the majority of the risk. How do you go about doing it? Well, it depends on what might run in your family and taking the time to understand that. For example, my husband's family, his dad had Alzheimer's. He's scared to death of that. So people with Alzheimer's tend to have the need for care a lot longer than, for example, someone who may have had a stroke or a cardiac issue. So that's first and foremost, and then make the decision. Okay, do you want to cover all of it? Can you self-insure for some of it? And by the way, are we dealing with a couple? I think I've told you the story before about my dad. He needed care, wanted to stay in his own home. Even I was shocked at how quickly they were going through their money. And my mom was perfectly healthy. She was 66 years old. When my dad died, that was a really scary time for her because they had pretty much what they were going to have, and she lost his Social Security. So what does that look like for the surviving healthy spouse when taking a look at this issue? Again, insurance isn't for everybody. Let's just really define what the issue is and make a decision one way or the other. If the choice is to self-fund, which is a really good choice for a lot of people, then what we want to understand are what are the tax issues if the need does arise. For example, is all of the money or most of the assets in a retirement account? Because pulling out $100,000 out of a retirement account isn't going to really give you the real $100,000 that you need. You need to pull out $130,000. Again, what's the impact and what are the tax implications for self-funding? So when we think about the different insurance alternatives, most of us think about the pay-as-you-go type of insurance. But there are other hybrid policies out there that can be attractive. In other words, if you don't use it, it's not a complete waste of money. For example, there's life insurance linked contracts that pay if you need the long-term care. But if you don't, there's a life insurance death benefit associated with it. There's annuity products out there that can also provide some coverage. Also, keep in mind, if you want to go the insurance route, let's talk about how you're going to pay for it. These policies can increase in cost significantly. Let's make sure that you are aware of that. Also, for those of you who have been putting money into an HSA, a lot of people don't realize that their HSA account can be used for your long-term care premiums. Depends on your age. For example, if you are up to age 70, you could use up to $4,700 of your HSA to pay your long-term care premiums. As you get older, that rises to $5,800 under current law. So let's optimize your resources and your tax situation to fund something that could enhance your quality of life and your financial security as well, and the financial security of your spouse. So long-term care is a really big subject, and it can be a heavy subject as well. Nobody wants to think about that, right? Let's just have the conversation so that, okay, you've got plan A, but if you need plan B, we already know what that is. That's really good planning. That's great wealth management. I'm Patty Brennan. Thank you so much for listening to this show on this really kind of boring, negative subject. Hopefully you learned something today. Go to our website, www.keyfinancialinc.com. There's tons of resources, tons of information. Go to the contact page. Ask us a question. That's what we're here for. Thanks so much for listening today. I hope you have a great one. Take care.